Hello. So here's the thing. I have like 12, 13 physical books on my TBR. I had stopped buying books a while ago, like probably 2 years ago. I don't really purchase books anymore. My bookshelves are full. I don't really feel like getting rid of anything that I have, so I've just started leaning exclusively pretty much on digital products. I have a great library. I get a lot of my books. I don't read a lot of new releases, and so most of the books that I want to read, at least a lot of them, I can get through my library, and if I can't, then I'll just purchase the ebook. So I have had the same physical TBR for probably 2 years, and I haven't taken anything off of it. I don't chip away at it. I just look at what are the books that I plan on reading this month, and then I go through and get those books from the library or purchase the ebook. I don't ever look at that TBR. I don't ever look at my physical what I want to read. So this video is going to be a try a chapter, read or unhaul. So we're gonna go through every one of these books, read a chapter, the first chapter in the book, and then we're gonna cut it off or leave it on the physical TBR and try to actually be a little bit more intentional about those books. I've decided that it's silly that I'm holding on to these when I could just be giving them to the library if I'm never gonna read them. So let me show you the books on my physical TBR right now. All right, so these are the books on the physical TBR, all of these. I used to have a little bit more, but we had multiple rounds of flooding. Our basement flooded a couple of times, and I lost some of them, which is fine because, you know, I'm not reading them anyway. Each of these I've had for too long, so we're doing the first chapter in each of them. I'll go ahead and tell you what I anticipate. We'll do a little predictions and then we'll just get started with the reading. I anticipate keeping The Good Thief is a strong possibility. I don't know anything about it, but I don't know, cool title, cool cover, seems right. Moving Pictures I'll keep because I really just need to get back to Pratchett. I'm definitely keeping the Douglas Adams book. I've been meaning to get to this for quite a while anyway. I don't know anything about that, so I'm probably not going to keep that, but I imagine I'll keep this because I've heard really good things about it. Also for these three, these are basically like picture books. I got these when I wanted more books like The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, the Horse, the whatever, the whatever, the whatever. And then I didn't read them. So we're gonna go for these as well. I imagine I'll probably keep all of these or maybe 2 out of 3. So that's the list. That's what we're gonna attempt to read the first chapter of every single one of those books today. I also put up a poll. I didn't give any sort of context around it, but you know, just asking, pick a genre. I should have known. Fantasy won the gambit. That's fine. So I'm gonna start with the fantasy books, then we're gonna move on to sci-fi, and then I don't know if litfic or romance is in the lead at this point, but we'll get to it. That's the order in which I'm gonna be reading through these books. That's how I'm gonna decide where we start. So we're gonna start in the fantasy section and do our first chapters and see where that takes us. I also brought my walking pad down here, since I'm gonna be probably reading first chapters most of the day today. So I brought my walking pad down here so I could be walking while I read. I'm not very good at that. Every time I've tried, you know, I've fallen off, which hurts, but I mean, I don't know, we'll try it anyway. Having not read these books, I assume, or looked up the description of them or anything, I assume these are my 4 fantasy books. So we'll just go in order in which I am holding them. We'll start with Redemptor, which is the sequel to Raybearer, which I quite enjoyed, but never continued on with the series, as I do sometimes. I don't anticipate this one because it is a YA series, and just as time has passed, I reach for YA less and less. But also I did really enjoy the first book, so let's read the first chapter and see. Okay, first book has already been a surprise. I really liked this first chapter. It was one of this is a sequel. I think I said that earlier. And it was very much a summary chapter. It was, this is what happened in the last book. This is the position that we're in now. It worked for me because it's been years since I read the first book, and I had forgotten a lot. I mean, I remembered some, but I had forgotten a lot. And I forgot how interesting the magic is in the story, and that I really like the prose. Plus the non-summary part there at the very end of the chapter where they were like, you know, go. The conversation that was had and the directive that was given. I mean, I'm interested. So first surprise of the video is first book of the video. I'm gonna keep this one. We're gonna read this. Next up is Blood and Fire. I read the novella, I enjoyed it, but I never continued. I didn't really have a lot of motivation to do so. This is the first full novel in the series, so we'll see if the full novel convinces me or not. I will say, ooh, nice map. I will say, I bet this one has a good map too. Nope. I mean, it's fine. It's just not my style. Anyway, I will say these books, I'm pretty sure they're self-pub. I actually don't know. But these books are, like, they're nice, you know? They're nice and heavy. The pages are thick. The covers, well, I mean, I don't care about the covers, but yeah, like it has the actual book is the same as the dust jacket, so you could go with or without. I definitely am a without person when the cover it feels nice, you know, like it's good quality. This is a good quality book. Now let's see if the contents convince me of the same. Okay, there's a prologue. I forgot to mention the first chapter was 9 pages. The prologue for this book is almost 3 pages. First chapter is 9. So the font is also quite large in this, so I think I'll just do the prologue and first chapter to give it a fair shot. So something I'm learning about myself very quickly is that once I get into a book, once I've started reading it, it's easy to just keep going. Like, you know, it was a good first chapter, prologue and first chapter. I mean, there was banter, there was dialogue, there was like joking around with the characters. I am not a huge fan of this author's prose. I don't think there's anything wrong with it necessarily. My point is, I was happy to read this, but there was nothing about the way it was being told that drew me in. Like, I'd happily go on and read 2-3 more chapters. I might even read the whole book, give it, you know, a decent rating, and then I see this as being potentially similar to the little novella, where I was like, yeah, I had a good time with this, but then no desire to keep going. Like, I'm happy to read it, but I'm not drawn in. And since the whole point of this is to get rid of books that I'm probably not going to actually read soon, I'm gonna let that one go. Next up, The Good Thief. I know absolutely nothing about this, but my goodness, I've had this book for a long time. First chapter is 7 pages. Let's go. Okay, I'm hooked. I'm really into this one. It gives me Locke Lamora vibes. We have an orphan boy who he's in an orphanage, and this man comes to him and says, "I'm looking for someone who can work with me on the farm and who can essentially be a son to." Hold on. Old enough to help me work, young enough for my wife to feel she has a child, someone who's honest and willing to learn, someone who can be a son to us. Do you think you can do that? And this is he's a farmer that's asking him this question. And the answer is his caretaker, the little boy's caretaker, says, "You don't want this one." And he makes the boy show him that he's missing his left hand. So he's basically told, "You don't want this kid." And the farmer decides, yeah, I want him anyway. And so he's taking him in. So I don't know. I'm not actually convinced this is fantasy. I'm not sure why I think this is fantasy. It might be lit fic. I might have this in the wrong category. Like I said, I chose not to look into any of these books. I didn't even read the back description for any of them. I just going into them. First chapter determines everything for me. I'm hooked. Okay, final one in this section is Moving Pictures by Terry Pratchett. I'm gonna keep this book. There's really no point in me reading the first chapter. I still don't plan on this being my next Pratchett book. I still want to continue on with The City Watch. Oh, I forgot Pratchett doesn't do chapters. All right, well, this is on you, Pratchett. I'm not reading your first chapter. I'm just gonna keep your book because I'm gonna keep reading Pratchett, and eventually I'll get to Moving Pictures. It was already a given, so I feel pretty comfortable with not reading that first chapter. Okay, first section of this video has been a surprise for me. I anticipated keeping maybe 2 books. I ended up keeping 3. This one goes to the library. For now, you may have the opportunity to save one of these books. We'll see. Next category is sci-fi. New genre, new location. I have 2 sci-fi books here, one that I definitely want to read, and one that I know absolutely nothing about. So let's start with this one. Oh no. No, we're not gonna do all that. Look at that. That's nonsense. Okay, well, if you would focus, that'd be cool. Could you? Thank you. No, I'm not gonna read 100 pages. Split your chapters differently. Come on. Okay, I'm giving it 10 pages. I feel like that is acceptable. Boy, I'm realizing that I'm very not good at this challenge. Because again, once I'm in a book, you know, I'm here. Might as well stay. And this feels very, very classic sci-fi, which can be a little bit hit or miss for me. I mean, there's a lot of classic sci-fi I have really enjoyed. But, I don't know, like this one opened up on this alien that was super interesting. It's a protector and without descendants, and it's being, I keep just reading you excerpts, so it's probably not a very good reviewer in me, is it? But anyway, most protectors die. And He must find a way to serve that species. He has to find, I think, he has to find a pack species. I don't know what a pack species is. He has to find a pack species and find a way to serve them and keep them alive. It would be terrible if he failed. He's been traveling through space, this alien's been traveling through space, and he has this mission that I don't understand because the beginning is quite vague. And then we switch to this character called Mick, and his introduction is a lot more slow, a lot more just like, this is what we're doing. So that bit was a wee bit less interesting. Oh my boy, I don't remember what I was saying about this. I'm interested. Am I actually going to like it once I get into the thick of it? How am I supposed to know? That's the point of this challenge. I'm not good at this challenge. I'm inclined to keep it because I haven't read enough to decide if I'm gonna like it or not. I'm gonna say no. Here's why. Simply because I know I won't pick it up quickly. And I think the point of me doing this, I've already lost the plot. What is the point of me doing? I think the point of me doing this is the books that are just going to sit on my shelf for an indefinite number of time. It's just time to let them move on, and someone could read them that it isn't me. Will I pick this up in the next couple of months if I keep it? I don't know, maybe. I'm kind of unpredictable. No. Maybe. Whose idea was this? Why did I decide to do this? This isn't the right thing for me to do. I'm not sure of it, though. I'm not confident in my choice to keep it, so I should not. Is that what I'm doing here? Is that the point of this video? Let's read this so I feel less angst. I accidentally read 3 chapters. They were short. It's not that big of a deal. It's just that Douglas Adams has such a charming way of writing. I don't even know what's going on yet. Right now we're just kind of being introduced to characters and a horse, and time is passing, odd things are happening, but we don't fully know the context around it all yet. And I don't know, but like, I want to read it right now. I kind of just want to read it right now. Sci-fi done. 1 keep, 1 bound for the library. Unless you save it. Romance time. I have 5 romance books that I've been hanging on to for a while because I keep telling myself at some point I'll get into a romance mood and I'll want to read one of these books. And it's just not true. Now the romance and lit fic sections actually tied. So the way I chose the tiebreaker was just that several people on my Patreon came into the Discord and said, I chose romance because I want to see Murphy suffer. So I let them be the tiebreaker for what goes first. Now I need to decide which book to do first. You know what? We're gonna go with the holiday ones because I feel like in my life of enjoying a select few romance books, it's usually themed. I usually like themed romances, and a lot of times it's around a holiday. First chapter is 11 pages. Let's do it. Oh, I didn't like that. Yeah, so this one's gonna be a no for me. How many chances to meet your perfect match? Okay, so she has a New Year's jinx, or so she thinks she does. Who's to say if it's true? Probably not. She had a bad New Year's Eve. Someone vomited on her. She had to wear just her spaghetti strap top that was more revealing than she was comfortable with. Her phone was dead. Like, there were a lot of things that happened that made the night not go so well. I'm just gonna be mean. It was very try-hard, especially the dialogue was very try hard. There were several characters that were bantering back and forth, and it all just like, I think I genuinely was cringing the entire time I was reading it. It did not draw me in. Let's go for the other holiday romance. Let's try again. This first chapter was much better. So we have a character who is in a baking reality TV show. She has a lot of ambitions with her career, some opportunities coming up, and as well as a rival. And when all that when the heat is on, a shelf collapses and a bunch of pots and pans falls on top of her. She gets knocked out. She has a concussion. She goes to the ER and she's told that she needs to rest. She's also lost her sense of taste and smell, which is not ideal for, a baking competition where she has to judge some things as well as create her own recipes. So her twin is the one that's right there with her, who's kind of trying to take care of her, but she's being stubborn and she's like, no, I'm not letting these opportunities pass me. It doesn't matter that I'm incapable of doing the job and also injured. I'll just lie and tell everyone I have no symptoms and also come up with a plan. So the plan was not disclosed in chapter 1, but I was interested enough that I read the description, and it said that she's going to swap lives with the twin, which makes sense, the holiday swap. But apparently there's also some love interest involved that will maybe catch on to the swap. Seems a little bit inconsiderate to not let them in on the swap, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not part of it. Honestly, if I were to keep a romance, it would, this one might be it. I'm not hating it. Maybe I'll make a rule for myself because I'm not inclined to pick a romance. Maybe I'll say I have to keep at least one of these. So if that's the rule, this is on the list of a maybe. Now we're gonna do the X-Hex. Nah, let's try this one. Okay, so for this one, our main character, her dad had a secret cabin, a secret house, and she's going and looking at it now, and she's going to be living there. So she's trying to understand what dad used this cabin for. She's on a phone with a friend making jokes about what it could have been, and then she sees the neighbor across the way reading a book, and he overheard some of their banter of what this house might have been used for. So then when she greets him, he kind of like throws it back at her. It's a very awkward first encounter, which makes me think he's probably the love interest. I'm gonna be honest, not much about this actually interested me. What are you gonna do? Last book. This is gonna be the one. I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually tried reading this already like a year ago and I quit it. I didn't finish it because it was boring. And so I fully anticipated reading the first chapter and then saying, no thank you. But since I committed to reading, or to keeping one romance, which is, I guess now that I think about it, against the nature of the premise of this video, well, it doesn't matter, promises have been made. So since I promised to keep one, this is definitely the one that is the most interesting to me, despite the fact that it's not really gripping, you know, the first chapter, but Du Maurier's prose. Her prose just draws me in. It doesn't matter what she's talking about. The way she writes it is so beautiful to me that I want to keep reading. Even though this first chapter did not hook me, her prose did. Boy, it's been a long time since I've read a Du Maurier. I think we're gonna read a Du Maurier again soon. Yay! I hope I don't hate it. I hope it's not boring. Okay, it's lit fic time. We have these three, which are like story picture books, I don't know what to call them, and then this, which is basically a short story. We're starting with this. Okay, so the first chapter is basically just Sadako going through normal life with family, preparing for a festival. It's not the most exciting thing ever. It didn't hook me, is what I mean to say, but the prologue did. So the prologue is very short. It's just saying that Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes is based on the life of a real little girl who lived in Japan from 1943 to 1955. She was in Hiroshima when the United States Air Force dropped an atomic bomb on the city in an attempt to end World War II. 10 years later, she died as a result of radiation from the bomb. So I don't know if this is based on the true story or if this is her true story, but despite chapter 1 not hooking me, I'm gonna keep this one. And then we'll move on to these very short books. So each of these is primarily visual with just a little bit of words on page, so each of these will be a quick read. I doubt they're chaptered, but I don't think it matters. I loved trying. So this is following a little boy who goes to a sculptor and asks, how does he do that? And he wants to learn, and he doesn't at first, but the encouragement is to keep trying, and that each of the failures, each of the mistakes adds up to experience that then, you know, creates something else. A quote at the very end, when we make it safe to fail, we make it safe to succeed. Oh, I really liked this one. This is, I'm gonna pass this one on to my kids. Next up is going to be Maybe, which I think probably is a very similar formatting. Ooh, yeah. So I don't love the art style nearly as much, but it's still quite nice, and it's still gonna be a pretty quick read. Okay, this one was fine. It was, I mean, it's a similar premise. It's like, maybe, you know, you could be this, or maybe you could do this in the world. If you're alive, then you have so many possibilities. There's so many things that you could do with your life. And it's kind of a similar idea, but like a little bit more on the nose. It was fine. It was fine. Final book, The Lost Soul. Quick peek into it. Huh. I don't know that this might be exclusively visual. I'm not sure there's words in this. Oh no, there are. There's just not very many. But look at this. Look, there's like, it's very pretty. Okay, last book, I'm doing it. Okay, so this one so there was a man that woke up and didn't really know himself anymore. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor told him, you lost your soul, which is essentially like yourself. You've lost who you are. Too much hustle, too much bustle, too much rushing to do everything, and you've lost track of yourself. You can't get it back. Just go, be alone, be in the quiet, and it will return to you. And the most of this is him being alone. And as time passes, we have these little glimpses of, I guess, memories, as well as we see this plant growing as time passes as well. And eventually, you know, I guess I don't want to, it turns out well. I really like the idea of, you know, I like the message of we move too fast, we rush through life, and we miss living. That's a message that I never get tired engaging with, and I think that we frequently need reminders of. I don't know, just the way it was told didn't connect with me on the level that I think it was meant to. I mean, it definitely was meant to. I don't know, probably a me problem. These two I'll pass on to the library. I've read them. They were fine. This one I'll pass on to my kids. I really like this one. Okay, so these are the books that I tried a chapter for. Of those books, these 6 are the ones that I'm keeping, and I'm gonna put a timeline on it. If I don't finish these by the end of the year, then I'm just gonna donate them to the library. If the point was, I think, to read, to narrow down my TBR to books that I'm actually going to read instead of just leaving them set. So if I haven't read them by the end of the year, then, well, that pretty much answers the question. So that's gonna be the expiration date for this. But I'm also going to give myself, what I'll do is these 6 books, I'll put a poll on my Patreon for my patrons to choose one of these books for me to go ahead and put on the TBR next month. That way, I'm getting the ball rolling right away. Now, for the books that, there will be a 7th. There will be a 7th book that goes on the TBR shelf. And for that, you must choose. So these are all the books that are on the chopping block. You get to save one of them. You can just do it in the comments. Just cast your vote in the comments. Just say what book you want to save, and I'll go through the comments, and the one that is the most voted for will also go on the TBR shelf. I'll give it to the end of the month. Yeah, at the end of the month. No, I'll announce in my wrap-up and TBR video, which is not this next upcoming Thursday video, but the following. I'll announce in that what won for the TBR, obviously, what I'm going to read first, but I'll also go ahead and tell you what is being saved by you all. So you have until then to cast your vote, to choose what doesn't get chopped. Well, there you go. I read a bunch of first chapters today. It was quite fun, actually. I really enjoyed doing that. And I've narrowed down my physical TBR. Now here's hoping I actually read it. That'd be good if I did that. Please chat with me more in the comments. Let me know if you plan on reading any of these that you heard about today in this video, if you've already read some, if you want to pitch one to me, or if you're excited about something that I kept, if you think that I'm a terrible person for having discarded some. I'll see you again soon. Bye.